because Sifan Hassan got the win and did it in the most Sifan Hassan way you could possibly think. It looked for a while that she wouldn't even finish this race. Then it looked for a while like she would finish, but she probably wouldn't be with the leaders at the end. But she pulled it all together. She managed to get back with the leaders in the final 20-so minutes of the race. Came down to a finishing kick. And who are you going to pick in a finishing kick? Gordon, the 1,500-meter world champion? I think that's a pretty good choice. She did it, runs 2:18.33. Time was not even important here. This was just an amazing race, an amazing comeback by Sifan Hassan. Someone who's just, you look at the whole career, it's just the unconventional is what she does. She does things that we don't think are possible. Doha, 2019 World Championships. No one can have the range at the same time to win a 1,500 and a 10,000. Like that's not possible. Those two events are too different. She's not going to be able to be at the best, at the highest level she needs to be for both. What does she do? She does it and shows it with ease. Comes back, Olympics. She says she's going to triple. We joke about, hey, she could probably triple based on what she did in Doha. But we're like, you're not actually going to do that. No one could actually handle the toll of all three races. And she comes away with 3 medals and 2 golds. And that brings me to Sunday, where you're like, all right, she's a 156 800-meter runner. She's got all these incredible PRs. She had the world record in the 10K for a little bit. But moving up to marathon's different. And she stops about an hour into the race. And we've seen this before, Gordon. If someone stops in the middle of a race and a gap forms between them and the rest of the pack, what do you think the success rate is that for them to winning that race, typically?
Well, I know it's not 0% because we have seen it before.
One.
Notably, Des Linden.
True.
She didn't stop, but she came back with Shalane Flanagan during Boston. But it's not a high percentage. Very low. If we're looking at the New York Times needle, it's on the 0 to 1% range.
Yeah, so she stops. She stretches for a bit. She had issues with the bottles, too. And I'll even say, okay, her coming back and joining the group, low probability for anybody in that spot. But for a debutante, I would say it's even lower, wouldn't you? They were talking about, hey, she's near the elite athlete hotel. This will probably be a spot where she'd pull off. Everybody was thinking the odds are greater on a DNF than on her finishing. And then she just was lurking. She got back in the race. She's running by herself, which is really hard to do for long stretches in a marathon. And you just see her in the background of these shots, and she gets the lead. You know, the lead is 20, 25 seconds. That lead pack's ahead of her. And then she's just lurking, and then she's just lurking. And then about the 2-hour mark, she's back with them. She clawed her way back. And then with about 5 minutes remaining, Gordon, I thought to myself, there's 0% chance she's losing this race. It went from basically 0% that she's finishing to 0% that she's going to lose. Because if we've seen this before, and you just transported yourself to a track, and you thought, all right, Sifan Hassan looks comfortable with a group of other athletes at the latter stages of a race. What happens? She wins.
She wins.
That's what happened.
Yeah. You could also argue maybe because it was her debut, the fear of the final 5 miles wasn't really in her head because she didn't know what it was. She hasn't been through it, putting a hard effort. So she probably was super naive and kind of treated it like a track race. There's times in track races where you fall off, you have to fix your shoe or something, and you just get back onto the back of the not the corral, but the line of women in a 10K or something like that.
Yeah.
She probably was just like thinking it was like a track race. Oh, just get back up to the pace and then we're good. And then the race starts when the kick goes. She kind of treated a 26-mile race like a 25-lap race. Mm-hmm. And instead of 1 lap, it was 1 mile each time. But I was impressed. It made me think like we now have back-to-back track women winning the marathon.
Yeah.
And I was like, ooh, imagine that finish if Helen Obiri was there with Sifan Hassan. Like, how would that type of final 800 go when you know Berry coming off of a silver medal in the 5K, Hassan, you know what she does from 15 to 10K, you'd be like, whoa, we're getting track on the roads, which is fun. So it got me excited for the future between her and Helen from last week. But yeah, I was surprised, but then at the same time, We saw what she did in 2019. We saw what she did in 2021.
Mm-hmm.
We probably shouldn't be surprised.